you're gonna sing, you gotta dance. Go ahead.
Such a sad song, though.
Is it? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, hey everybody.
We're back.
Oh, always.
Always, always.
Yes, we are back, and we are happy to be here.
Tonight we are talking about, so like I will be 60 in December, 60, and Janae has a few years before she turns 60. So we're talking about, what it means to turn 60. It's that diamond year. Um,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
what you're thinking about, what goes through your mind, just everything, all the things that come with turning the big 60. So many of us, at least in my circle group, are already 50. Many. I mean, we have like
Put that closer to you.
less than a handful of friends that are below the age of 50. But for us who are approaching 60, like what do you, I know you're not 60 yet, but I know you have some thoughts about turning 60.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because there wisdom comes with it. Doesn't come with it with everybody, but for me, it's given me some mental clarity. It's given me my superpower is seeing people for who they are. I don't always act on it, but I see. Would always pride myself as far as like, people's personalities. Like, oh, I don't miss much, but you have such a clarity and peace because you see so many things that you wouldn't have seen in your 20s and 30s. And I'm not even just talking about relationship stuff. Romantic relationship things. I'm just like even friendships and things like that. So you see things so much clearer. But the problem is like cognition. Like I'm forgetting stuff, and I'm like, what are we talking about? That type of thing. What did I come in this room for? So the cognition, the memory lapses are definitely there.
One of the reasons that I wanted to discuss this because there was a lot of marketing activity, excuse me, around turning 50. There was all of this 50 is the new 40, 50 is the new 30, 50, blah, 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 blah. And when I got to 60, 60 was just 60. It wasn't no marketing campaign. Nobody was ushering me in. It took me...
You didn't see the Soul Train line?
No, I mean, I didn't have any regrets. I didn't it was like sad that I couldn't do anything on the bucket list. It was just 60 was 60. It was different. And and I really want to talk to both of you all about, why you work out and what you see yourself or how you see working out adding to your plus or taking away from your plus 60 life.
Before I answer that question, I do have something to say about, in general,
Okay,
what I
please.
think 60 looks like when I look at other people's lives. My boyfriend is obviously older than me, so he's made 60, and I can just see what I'm noticing, that people who are 60 have like really grasped what I feel like just like my view of mortality brings about. So I feel like approaching 60, people are doing things with much more intention. I think it's not like haphazard. I think people are actually, making plans and living. I mean, like living each day, perhaps like it is your last, making something impactful happen. And that to me is something to look forward to. You know what I mean? You can do it right now, obviously. You don't have to be 60.
Right.
But I do feel like, Gary always says we have more years behind us than we have in front of us. But more than that, we've lost so many people who are so young, and it just seemed to be so untimely. But I don't know, it could be our environment, it could be our foods, it could be our lifestyle, it could be the lack thereof of people working out and taking their health and fitness seriously. But whatever the catalyst is, I know that life is short and it's precious and it's fleeting. So we've got to grab it every which way and live it. Just live.
And I want to ask both of you all this because for those of you all that don't know, both of these ladies are workout queens, mavens, professionals even. And I want to know in terms of when you work out, is there a part of it that you're like, man, when I get to be whatever age, I'm going to still have dexterity, I'm still going to be active, I'm still going to be vibrant. I don't want to. I want to give myself every opportunity to be successful. I don't want to answer the question for you.
So listen, I remember being in the gym one time and I was working out with a friend, Megan, who it was the three of us, me, my girlfriend Michelle, and another woman, Megan. So we were all doing legs. We were squatting, and we're all, and, we're like stair steps as far as our age. I was in my 30s, and she was in her 40s, and Michelle was young. She's like 4 or 5 years younger than me. So I remember telling Megan squat lower, and so she said, "I'm in my 40s," and I was like, 'cause to me, like she's in her 40s, but she wasn't like she was 49, and she said, "I'm older than you. Don't forget, I'm a little older than you, so my body is different." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, but it wasn't a big deal." But so now that I'm looking at it, and I have been, like, I'm almost 60. I'm not 60, but to me, in my mind, I mean, because it's a few months away. Like, who's, you know.
Right. That's
So, yeah. So I see a difference, and I feel a difference in my body now that I'm approaching 60, as opposed to like when I just turned 50. There is a difference in my body, and they say with women's bodies that our bodies change every 7 years. So they just go through changes, and we look different every 7 years. From 7 to 14 to 21, we look different every 7 years. So I see that. I see it in I feel it in my flexibility. I feel it in my joints. I see it. So my level of self-care is masterful. So, and I see it even with people on social media who are my age, and I'll give them their props. Your level of self care is masterful. Like when we were all growing up, our parents didn't take care of themselves like we do. We have more resources. Our parents may have lived a long time, or they may have exercised, but they didn't lift weights. They weren't doing all the things that we did. Marcia was probably an anomaly, but her mom. But our parents, by and large, didn't do that. Like our level of self care is different because we know more. So when you know better, you do better, right?
Mhm.
So, or you should. But to answer your question, like when I'm working out, I do most of what I can. Do I do all that I can? Probably so. But to Janae's point, I'm living my life. Like I'm not the 60-year-old woman who's getting ready to compete and take stage. So I'm not. I love working out, so I am in the gym a lot. But I'm not nitpicking like I'm gonna have exactly 8 grains of wild rice. I'm not doing all that. If I want some cheeses, I'm gonna eat some damn cheeses. If I want some chips, I'm gonna eat some chips. But I do love working out. I love living my life because, again, to your point, there are so many people just dropping off like flies because they're not taking care of themselves. They're not aware, and I don't mean just going to the gym. They're not getting colonoscopies. They're not getting mammograms. They're not
Visiting
looking
the
at.
doctor regularly.
Yeah. So it's time for me to get another colonoscopy. So I have to schedule that. So those are the types of things that are on my mind. Like, okay, I gotta make sure that my heart is healthy, that everything is good.
So let me just add something to that. So obviously, it's just not me. I train other people, right? So people come one way and they may be, under a doctor's care and have issues of high blood pressure and, maybe battling diabetes, a host of things. But what working out does, and especially for older women, it definitely gives you a new lease on life. So even if you are 50 and above, even if you are approaching 60 or over 60, you may feel like I'm old or I can't and I'm tired and I'm weak. And but working out, even though it may not feel heavenly while you're doing it, it does so many wonderful things for your body. So you get the opportunity to reduce inflammation in your body just by picking up weights. You build muscle, you metabolize the fat. So I mean, it's all married together. How people feel about themselves when they look at themselves in the mirror, and how they want to feel about themselves. So you start off at point A, you end up over here. Literally, you feel better when you are more happier and attracted to what you see looking back at you, right? That's motivation for you to keep going, right? Most people don't come to me and say, oh, I don't care what I look like, I just want to feel better. That's not true. They may say that to somebody else, but they're not going to come and pay me money and tell me that lie. They're going to say, listen, I don't like what I see in the mirror. I don't like the way I feel on the inside of my body. I don't like the way I feel about my body. I want to be better. I want to be my best self. And that is what working out does for you. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. And again, to Kim's point, you can only do what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a 40-year-old may not have the flexibility that a 60-year-old may have. Some of it is genetics. Some of it is your structure, the way your spine is built. You just can't do things. You just may have limitations. But it doesn't mean you can't do it. You do something else. You do a variation. It doesn't mean give up. It doesn't mean stop. So, like, Kim's in the gym all the time. I'm in the gym all the time. What's wonderful is that we aren't in competition with anybody. We're just being our authentic best selves. And that is what I think approaching 60 for me. I cannot wait to, I get there, God willing, I'll have many more years behind that. But the other point, yes, my family is a little bit different, right? My mom was a trainer. Actually, my grandmother's sister was in the bodybuilding contest, Aunt Marjorie. So, I mean, and my grandmother grew up, on a farmland, you know what I mean? So very active people. And maybe that's why she lived to be 106 years old. So I am taking all the wonderful things that I learned, and I'm going to hold on to them and just keep it moving, because I feel like, that is fitness is, it's everything. It's quality of life.
I'll say it again. I mean, when we turn 50, because we all have done that, there was so much marketing around it,
It was.
I'm gonna, 50 is the new 20. And I'm like, you lying.
Right.
But 50 is the new 30.
But you're right. People do say that.
But there was no marketing around 60.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just was 60. Deal with it or don't.
Right.
And it, and I said it in the beginning of the show, but it was, for me, it was an adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't say it for like the first 3 months.
So what was the adjustment?
It was mental. That part of it was mental, where, we bookmark all of these different ages, 13, 18, 21, 25, 30, 40, 50, and then 60. And 60 has, it's almost like it's in a different book than all of the other bookmark ages. And when you get there and you start to see and even feel differently, it was an adjustment for me. It wasn't, I had a frame of reference because, again, looking at our parents, I felt like, wow, 60, you ain't got much longer. And
Does it sound old to you when you say it, 60?
It did at first, and that was part of the adjustment that I had to go through to say it.
Okay.
And I don't feel 60. I don't feel like the 60-year-old person that I envisioned 60 being.
Right.
As a 30-year-old looking at 60. You're
Right.
Like, oh my
as,
God.
As a 12-year-old, when you met your uncle that you had never met, you like, he's 60. You like, boy, I hope you're getting right with the Lord.
Right.
You ain't got long,
Right.
brother. You ain't got
Right.
long. You got anything of value that you're going to leave me?
Right.
I mean, it was different.
Right.
And but to turn 60, to be 60, and to, to kind of go through some things. And it was, I'll say this, it was different 2 years ago to do the Chosen Few. And I mean, you all know what it is. It's a festival that they have here in Chicago. And for me,
House music.
yeah,
That's
house
all.
music. And for me, it's like a 20-hour day full of lifting and pulling and dragging.
Yeah.
How did you feel afterwards?
2 years ago, I felt okay.
Okay.
And then this year was different because I actually had less work. I had more help.
Okay.
It didn't involve the physical dexterity. I did a lot less drinking, but it had a more profound impact on my body.
Because you were knocked out.
Yeah, I was asleep. I was asleep.
And outside in the tent?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Knocked out.
So 2
Sit
years.
up.
2 years ago, I mean, we were having drinking contests and stuff. I mean, we were drinking brown liquor all day long, 20 hours straight. And this year, I had more help. It was cooler because last year
Right.
it was
I remember that.
the heat was set to
Did
hell.
you have a desire to have a drinking contest? I mean, like, if you had the energy, would you have wanted to participate in something like that? Because I think things kind of change your desire to do things like that the older you get.
It's funny that you say that because I didn't want to consume as much alcohol because I didn't want it to have the effect on my body that it had 2 years ago or last year even. So there was a concerted effort. But I mean, camaraderie, yeah, we all want to let our hair down and have a few drinks, if that's what you do. And, and everyone at this festival has much alcohol. So, all of my whiskey friends were, like this, I got this 18-year-old this 21-year-old that. We're talking about whiskey now.
Right.
Yeah, I want you to know that.
Aged whiskey.
Age.
A lot of things, but he's not a perv.
Right, and I didn't vote for Donald Trump. But so within that, there was a part of it where I did kind of censor myself and not drink as much because I knew it was going to have a profound effect. And unlike years past, this year I had to be in Michigan the next day, and I mean drive to Michigan the next day, and I had to be there at 9 o'clock, which was 8 o'clock our time. And we had to break down everything. So it was much different for me.
Oh, I understand.
And last year, because I'm always trying to mitigate everything. Last year it was probably about 94, 95, and
I remember that.
we were at a comfortable 182 degrees this year.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
And it was this beautiful, cool breeze. It's the stuff that they write about. I mean, it was like every once in a while you just be like, oh,
Yeah.
ooh, thank you. So, but but turning 60, it took me a while to adjust to it, and I'm still adjusting. And I mean, every age, you were just happy to get to be 21. Me, I just went to the liquor store that morning at 9 o'clock. But 60,
Proud to show your ID.
right? Like, yeah, I got two. I got state ID and a driver's license. But 60, it was more reserved. It was more laid back, and I've noticed changes in my just things that they were always there or on some level. They're a little bit more pronounced. They're a little bit more profound now. Like I can't, I have a very good relationship with alcohol, and so I can, I really have the ability to consume it. But I noticed that my ability to consume is less. And I don't know if that is
a little amount, a lesser amount will impact you.
Gets you there quicker.
both. And I used to be able, I'm not proud of this, but I could always drink beer. And I sold beer at one time, as you all know. And I could drink 13, 14 beers in a 3-hour period, and I was okay. I drank 3 beers the other night, and I was like, man, I might want to quit drinking. It might be time.
Wow.
It might be time.
Your tolerance level, but your body is changing.
Metabolism is different.
Yes, your
You're
body is
metabolizing everything differently.
And for our smart listeners out there, no, it wasn't an IPA. It was just some simple Stellas. 3 of them had me beyond where I needed to be.
What does IPA stand for? I know.
India Pale Ale.
Oh, okay. We have them on the planes, but I never knew.
the name of a liquor.
It's a type
It's
of
a
beer.
type of beer.
Okay.
And it's but the alcohol content is higher. I mean,
Oh, it is it? Okay.
yeah,
I
most-
know we have them on the planes. And I know where they are, but I didn't know what it's different.
but most beer is, you know, somewhere between 3 and about 6%, and IPA start at about 9 to 10%.
Oh, okay.
I have a question for both of you.
Okay.
For me, as I'm getting older, there are two things on my body that I feel changes in. Three. The the first is the memory thing, right? Because us together is just
Like, what? I don't know. What? Huh?
we can't help each other.
Conversation. What? Huh? What are we talking about? I don't know. What?
Did you write it down? I thought you wrote it down. But my eyesight is very different. I struggle.
What?
And right.
That's an understatement.
So I literally have probably 20 pairs of readers because I need
19 tops.
22. And then the other area is my feet. I feel like my feet are older than what they used to be.
Mhm.
And I feel, not that they don't work, but I'm aware that, you know, like, oh, you know, let me
Our
stretch
feet
that
take
toe
a
out.
beating, though.
They do. We do
My
a lot
feet
with
take
them.
a beating for years.
More than walk, but yeah, we run and we've done so much with them. But those are the three areas that I feel like are aging. And I don't think that really stops, actually, right? So we're doing all the right things to preserve our eyesight. We're doing all the right things to preserve our memory. We're doing all the right things to preserve, physically how we feel. And that is a part of, like, I know you drink, I don't drink.
I don't think we're doing all that we can to preserve our eyesight. We don't get vision checks. Most people don't get their eyes checked as much as they should.
I got mine checked. I had the glaucoma
You do
test.
not
I
get
did.
your eyes checked
I
as
just
much
had
as
it.
you should.
Sydney dragged me to the place.
You do not get your eyes checked as much as often as
Should I go
you're
every
supposed
other
to.
week?
You're supposed to go at least once a year. You don't do that.
I went 6 months ago.
You do not go every year.
I just started going every year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You don't
Like-
go every year. You just started.
That's
don't.
a good thing, though, right? But I haven't been this age before, so you do things differently when your body is doing things differently. So that's a new thing. But I feel like, I don't know what else I could do besides eat more carrots and, personally
That's computer time.
watch. Well, I have those glasses over there are the glasses that you wear for the phone at night or, the blue light.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've done all the things that a layperson can do, yeah, I guess I could have less screen time, less TV time. But, I mean, I feel like the things that I know would harm me, smoking or drinking, I try and get 7 hours of sleep at least. It doesn't always work, but that is my goal, to at least get the 7. I feel like I'm doing a lot of the right things.
At minimum, there's a plan.
There is a plan, because things are just going to progressively require more. So you got to start somewhere.
I want to go back to the memory part, and there is a.
memory part.
See.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But there is a very logical sounding explanation for that, because if you look at your mind as though it were a computer, and it takes in all of this information, and we are at the later stages of our chapters, and so we have all of this information. So when we process, I mean, when our mind is just a blank canvas, it's easy. It's easy for you to summon the 3 or 4 things that you know. But you have all of these different experiences, all of these different, iterations of yourself even. And so when you're trying to, basically, in my mind, our minds need a defrag. We need to get rid of the stuff we don't need and keep the stuff that we do. We need to take the gaps away so we can get in more stuff, we can summon it faster, and we need to organize it in a more logical way. Now, if I could create an app to do that.
Well, computers don't, unless you are deleting things, they store them. They have enough capacity in their memory to the store.
But
And for us, that would be memories, right?
but if you look at a memory and assuming that it was a disc that spins around. So when that disc spins around, when you enter a memory, and if it's right here, it's going to put it right there. Now it's not going to just move up a little so you can fit the next one right next to it. It's going to go around and wherever it goes. So when you have all of those blank spaces of where it didn't sync up like that, that's what a defrag basically does. A defrag says, okay, we're going to take all of these blank spaces and we're going to fill them and we're going to organize this in a logical fashion so that you have more capacity to use the other areas that you wouldn't have already used or that you couldn't use because it was so much stuff in the way of getting to it. And in layman's terms, that's what a defrag is.
Yeah, but that almost says like you should limit how much you learn.
It's not that. It's more an assessment of just we are a product of our environment, our experiences, everything that we've seen. We have bookmarked that in some form or fashion, and there is a lot of information. I mean, how many jobs have you had? How many schools? How many streets have you lived on? How many people live next door to you? All of those things are somewhere stored in your mind. And when you're trying to summon, like the craziest thing, like 2 days ago, I had the hardest time spelling opinion. And I know how to spell it. I kind of remember having it on the spelling test. And I still, and I'm looking at it and I'm typing it and I'm looking at it and I'm not getting the red, and then I'm getting the red line under it and I'm like, what is going on here? And I almost had a moment, but then I had to remember that sometimes, you have to kind of, and all of the other stressors that I have going on in my life, all of that's affecting me in that moment and I'm trying to do it. I don't have just blank spots where I walk all the way out to the car and I don't know where I'm going, or why I even left the house. But, I'm definitely leaving my phone more.
But I mean, I've had blank spots where I went upstairs. I'm like, what did I come up here for?
Oh yeah, that happens.
Okay, that's
And
fine.
then I go back and say, oh, I know what it is.
That's
I gotta
fine.
go back upstairs.
Let me say this.
Please.
As I approach 60, it's also made me more tolerant of people. It's changed my relationships. So I'm not, it's made me more protective of myself. Even when I meet people, whether it's I'm embarking upon a new relationship as far as like a friendship or maybe a potential person that's maybe a romantic suitor, it's made me more guarded. I protect myself. So once I sniff out that you are not going to be good for me, then I don't mess around. I'm not dealing with you. You're bullshit. But I'm not going to be unkind to you because I realize we're all human. You're
just not for me.
You're just not for me. So it's made me. It's kind of changed my personalities. I'm not I'm a happier person. I'm not snarky as I think I was when I was in my 20s and 30s. Because I wasn't very happy in my 30s and 40s. So, but I didn't know how to process that. I thought I did, but I really didn't. So now that I am older and I see things in situations and people for who and what they are, to kind of like put them in the right category, and it's made me more protective of my space, my people, who I am, because I know who I am, and I thought I did in my 20s and 30s. That's different. I look at people who think that they know, who got it all figured out in their 20s and 30s. I'm like, you really don't know shit. And so when we were that age, I don't know if you've ever encountered like older people who would say, keep living.
Just
You
live
really
long
don't
enough.
know. Yeah. But
see
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's the new under the sun, boy.
Yeah. And so it's made me a different person, is what I want to say.
I want to ask both of you all two personal questions that I know the answer to, but I want you all to share this with America. When you were 20, were you a faster driver now, or were you a faster driver then? Are you still a fast driver now?
I was definitely a fast I used to drag race. And I have to, even when I became a mom and I didn't have my kids in the car, one of my, I did pharmaceutical sales for years. And one of the doctors who saw me, her name is Kim, she called me, she said, I just want to tell you, you're not driving a Corvette. I saw you on Lakeshore Drive. Slow down. So my foot would still be like, I want to just take off. But now that I'm not a fast driver, so I'm not.
Janae, if you would please, and
what
I'll
does that mean?
No. She's giving me time to restate the question.
A lie flew out and I sniffed it up and it got caught in my throat.
Oh my God! It flew out.
So Janae,
Let me answer the question and then I have to
retort.
absolutely.
Okay.
So
in your 20s, were you a fast driver?
let me just say this. I didn't think I was. But my grandmother told me at my college graduation, we were driving to the school or whatever we were doing, and she said, ooh-wee, you sure do drive fast. And she reminded me this not too long ago. She said, you told me, well, Grandma, cars are made to be driven. And she said, well, I guess you told me. And so I really don't remember that precisely, but it was a Janae comment. And so then my kids, when I'm in the car with them, I'll say, why are you all driving so fast? And they both looked at me like, oh,
The nerve.
because you taught us. And I was like, what? No way. So I will say that I must have been a fast driver. I never
you
got
didn't think
tickets
so.
though, but I never got a ticket. And today I am much more like I set the speed limit, after getting arrested in Evergreen. yes, literally. So the cruise control is on 30. Doop, 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 doop. I'm very mindful. I don't want any tickets. I don't want any blemishes on my driving
I never used
record.
cruise control.
Yeah, all the time. This is my favorite feature.
Cool.
So I have slowed down considerably. Probably because I don't want a ticket. I like fast cars though, right?
Mhm.
Because I didn't like the idea of having to ask you to get over. I was like, I'm gonna be able to be so far ahead of you in 0.3 seconds. I don't even have to ask you to get over. Now, that's enough about me. Now about you, cousin dear. I don't know what dream of
I don't drive fast.
delusion you're in. Oh my.
You think I drive fast?
What? I have so much anxiety driving behind you. We were once going to I Love Kickboxing because we took a class there. And it was one of our first, and I don't like driving west like that because the sun is always in my eyes. So she was like, just follow me. Great, no problem. How does anyone follow you? It's almost like you're like, follow me if you can. And I feel like you drive like you think your car is gonna just like have wings and elevate and levitate.
Bang, bang.
Yes, it's
Go
just,
over.
and then you can multitask. You can put bananas in your yogurt and you can eat it with one hand and make these moves. And I felt like I was doing all the illegal things possible to just keep up with you. Nobody I know drives as fast as you.
Okay. You kind of stated this, but I want to know from you, Kim, what made you slow down? Because that's your story. That's your version of the story.
I think when I became
I'm just getting ready for it to choke again.
when I became a mom, I slowed down when I became a parent. So it made me, because I value, Stephen and Sloan are like everything. So I
No more drag racing.
yeah, no more drag racing. I don't do that. And I've never been a road rage person. You want to get in front of me, have at it. I'm gonna let you in. So becoming a mom.
So it wasn't a maturation. It was situational.
Both.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's because the reason I asked both of you all that question is because that's one of the things that we notice. It, like, when we getting ready to, we roll up on somebody and we're ready to curse them out, and then there's somebody's grandmother, and you like, I'm just praying about this. You don't do it because you roll up on that person, and that person has slowed down. So we're not quite at that age where
No.
we drive like we old, even though we are getting older.
But when I see old people on the road, old people and babies are my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much empathy because I know that they're anxious. I know that people on their bumper, especially with the way people drive today, there's no grace. If you are at a light and it turns green, they're like, "Bah!" It scares them. So yeah, I'm way more patient.
Same. I don't blow it over.
Yeah, I don't blow at anybody because I don't want the repercussion of what that may bring. You don't know who you're dealing with and who's in front of you or whatever, but you don't know. I just feel like how your mom is like very like, don't be on the phone and pay attention to the road. That is how old people are, and at some point we're probably going to be just like that.
But
so you have to have grace and empathy.
And I think that we all kind of said the same thing, that we're not at that point yet. We are getting older. We are at 60 or approaching 60, but we don't look at our driving as we old folks.
No.
Okay.
No, but I think this generation of 60-year-olds, like, we're different from our parents. At 60, like, we're much more active.
Yeah.
In every way. We're out doing stuff. But I'll say this. I am also that 60-year-old. I don't want to party with a bunch of 30-year-olds. So I want to party with people who are in my age group. If I get there and I see people who are in my age group and they're partying with the 30-year-olds, if I see a bunch of people who are kids' age, I'm out. And I don't know if everybody else feels that way, but that's how I feel. So that's different for me too. I don't know. I don't think I was that way when I went somewhere and there was older people there. It wasn't a big deal to me. It wasn't like something I sought. But if it happened to be there, they were there. But now, I'm not doing that. I don't want to party, and it could be because my children are that age. I don't want to party with 30-year-olds.
And see, that's situational for me. Like, I 1000% partied with my daughter when she turned 30 because that was a requirement. She wanted her parents there. And we partied, right?
But that was...
I know. So in that respect, I partied with the 30-year-olds. And when I think back in the day when I was 30 and I was in a situation where my mother had a lot of different functions a lot of times, her friends obviously became like, my aunties, my friends, they're still my friends. And I've been around that. So I'm used to that part of being around older people. So yeah, that didn't freak me out like, oh my God, I'm with the older generation. But no, they were cool and it was all fine. But on a day-to-day basis, I would never want to be around a bunch of 30-year-olds dancing and twerking.
They don't dance.
Smoking,
just so you
whatever
know.
else
they
they're
just stand
doing.
around.
Yeah.
And they're drunk when they get there. But when you all say party, that begs the question. Day party?
Yes.
Night party?
Love it. Day party all day long.
Love a good day party. I don't know how people go out to the clubs and whether they drink or not. I don't know how people go out to clubs and get home at 1 and 2 in the morning consistently, like
and
every
function.
weekend. I don't know how they do it. I'm not built for that. And I'll say this: my priorities are such that I want to go to the gym in the morning. So that's important to me. I don't want to stay out until 2 and 3 in the morning because I want to get up and go to the gym around 6 or 7. And that's, some people go to the gym at 5. I'm not that girl anymore. I'm not going to the gym at 5 o'clock unless I have to because I'm flying and I have to be out of the house by 9. But ideally, I want to get up naturally and I'm going to go to the gym around 7 o'clock. So therefore, I can't stay out until 3 in the morning. I don't know how people do
It
it.
sets your whole day off track.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know
just
how they do it.
not conducive.
And if for me, if I were to go out on a Friday, and I stayed out till 4 in the morning, let's just say, doing what I have no idea. But if I stayed out till 4 in the morning, I probably wouldn't be able to get up and get in gear until about like 12, 1 o'clock.
Right.
And I mean, I can get up and throw you some activity, but that activity is 50, 60% of what I possibly could have given you had I gotten to bed at 11 or 12.
Yes.
And I've done things like stay up all night. Like I watched The Polygamist, a couple of weeks ago, all night long. And I had an early client, and I was like, what in the world made me do this? This is like the most insane thing.
How late were you up?
I never went to sleep. I watched it. I just stayed awake, right? I was like,
You
this
pulled
is
an all-nighter
Yes.
like college for a series.
for a
or something.
series, right?
I've done that.
Yes, but it's not smart, right? I could not imagine actually being out. I was in my bed with the remote,
One eye.
falling asleep, rewinding it, the whole thing. So I couldn't imagine being out to 4 o'clock in the morning,
I couldn't either.
talking, being around loud people. All of the things would just irritate me to no end.
And you know what?
But
I'll say I called a friend and he didn't answer the phone. Just a friend.
Mhm.
And I said, oh, I just texted him. I called you. And he texted me a few hours later. I was on the plane. He said, oh, I was still recovering from kicking it over the weekend. I can't. Wait, what's today? Tuesday? You're still recovering?
from the weekend.
Yeah. What?
That's a lot.
I can't do that.
One of the things that I used to do a lot of is that, and even until, probably like the last 10 years or so, is that when we went to another city, so say if we were in LA, we wanted to go to a club. And so now I'm not quite at the, I'm going to make sure I see all the museums, but I'm also at the, I'm good on the club, dog. We go have dinner.
I am. I'm a museum girl.
No,
Does
and
that
it's
make
nothing.
me- Does that make me a cat lady?
No shade to the museums. And I mean, if you're in Paris,
I
go to
wanna
the
go
Louvre.
to
It's
museums.
beautiful.
Yes, it is.
It's beautiful. But
Your point is you don't have to be at the clubs.
I don't have, and I'm okay with that. Because
Right.
that's, those are two distinct places. One is you're there and you're not comfortable enough to say it or to feel it or to express it. And the other part is, because we talk about grown and grown. When you grown, in my world, you can say, hey, you know what? No, I'm good on the club, dog. I ain't got to do
Right.
that. No,
Right.
we good. That's all right.
Some of it, like, so for those of you who don't know, the Chosen Few Picnic is huge. How many people would you think would be in attendance at any given?
There were 60,147.
60,000 people. For me, that is sensory overload for me. And so it's a great picnic, and I don't want to discourage anybody from going because the music is wonderful. Is the people it's a vibe, and people like I have flight attendant friends who fly in for that, and it's great. When it was smaller, we would take our kids every year, and then my mom would come get them and blah, blah, blah. So I liked it when behind the museum when it first started, and then it was across the museum. But as it's gotten bigger, it's too much for me. So my maturation where I am realizes that it's the loud music, the heat, everybody bumping into you. Hey girl, hey, everybody's clamoring. It's too much for me.
Okay.
So,
And it's been
I
larger
enjoy-
than that before. So.
yeah, and I enjoy seeing people I haven't seen in a long time. But it's too much for me. Even though it's once a year, I know that this is too much for me to handle. And it's like I'm planning on going to see Jay-Z in Paris. Now when I was trying to get a ticket and I was looking at the seats and where we're gonna be sitting, it said Peral's. And I was like, Peral's? My flight attendant girlfriend was like, let's get these tickets. I was like, hold up, homie. Peral's means lawn. That means standing room only. I'm not standing up. I need to sit down. I need to be be able to sit. Love Jay-Z, and I'll be standing a lot. But I cannot stand.
You're gonna need that
For
seat
2
as a
hours.
backup.
Right.
Yeah, and my back is very strong, but I can't stand on
It's
even in
uncomfortable.
the best gym shoes. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like I'm different now.
And pay money to do it.
Yeah,
That's
That
another part of it.
yeah.
I'm gonna pay you probably in Paris, what, $700, $800, $1,000?
Much cheaper. Paris is cheaper. The tickets.
Oh wow.
Paris, London, concerts, everything is cheaper.
Okay.
It's good to know.
It is.
Because I will not pay what they paid for
Yeah.
a concert.
And
here.
not that we're talking about this, but if you're ever in London, go see Wicked, because that's the only place in the world you can go see Wicked, and the main characters are all black.
I love it. Love.
Yeah. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful production.
I think we're probably gonna have to come out of our summer hiatus and have an in person.
Yeah, we need to.
Hello. Because we miss you guys.
And I've been asked about it 20 times.
Oh yeah,
So, August it is.
definitely, and I'm looking forward to it. And I've been asked about it as well. And I mean, they're great times. I actually miss the times that we have, because I love interacting with the people. I love, hearing their perspectives on things. So
That's always the best part.
yeah, and it's
Always the best part.
and there will be parts of it that are going to make you laugh. There are going to be parts that are going to make you crack up. There are going to be parts that you're like, okay, wow, I never thought about it like that. So, but it's always fun, and people are their genuine selves, and we learn. I mean, it's
Yeah.
we really learn a lot about things, about people, about everything. So I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe end of August. Anybody planning on taking any trips? We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it on the air.
Yeah. But we're going to have a date because you have your schedule already, right?
I do.
Yeah, so we're going to have a date for you by next week. For sure.
Indeed.
Indeed.
All right.
Thank you guys for
Thank you
tuning
for
in.
listening.
Thank you. Miss
Drop your
you.
comments. Don't forget about TikTok. We're on TikTok now. Conversations Overheard. So you have to follow us.
And
What
if
she
you're
said.
60, tell us what 60 means to you.
Yeah, definitely drop us a comment, drop us a line, let us know what 60 means to you.
Or if you're approaching 60, I'm like, what do you, let us know.
Let us know. Appreciate you. Next week.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, sweetheart.
Well, it's time to go. Dun, 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 dun.
Is that C flat?
It's nothing is flat on me. Just want you to know.
I'm standing grown folks. This is what I live for.
Your stream will be immediately stopped and you'll no longer be live.